Hi, so in this video, we are going to discuss how you can create winning habits. If you want to leave your job, you need to create winning habits. Before we get started with today's video, I want to remind everyone to please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you never miss a W2 Prison Break video. Okay, so how do we establish winning habits? I'm going to talk about what some of those habits are. I'm going to give you three of them, and then how do we do that? So you want to leave your job, right? You really have to start thinking more like an athlete, okay? And I use a lot of references to athletes because they operate at a very, very high level and they do the little things really, really well, and they create these habits that ultimately lead to success when it comes time to play the game, right? The big game. I use this reference a lot. Tom Brady, arguably the greatest quarterback that's ever played the game. When he's playing the game, he looks like he knows what's going to happen before it actually happens. He knows where everybody is. He knows where the defenders are. He knows where the receivers are going. It just seems so effortless for him. And I can tell you it's not, it's effortless on the field, but it's because he has such great habits. So let's talk about habit number one, and that is establishing a routine in the morning. Okay, for years and years and years, I wasted my morning. I woke up maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. I just went through the motions, right? I brushed my teeth. I came downstairs. I made some coffee. I, made some food. Sometimes I worked out. Yeah, I was checking my phone, social media. I would normally go right into checking my email for my W-2 job. Like I just got consumed in that. And I never really established momentum in the morning. I didn't really set myself up to have a great day. It was just like, okay, this is what I do every single day. So the big change for me came when I read a book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I'm going to leave a link below where you can grab that book. I highly suggest that you pick it up and read it. I read it twice. That's the recommendation. The book, after you finish, you read it again. And I did that. And the very next day, I started my morning routine. I woke up, much earlier, I think 5 o'clock, and I started implementing some of the things in the book that he had suggested, that Hal had suggested, and I'll give him to you. I'll tell you my morning routine. I wake up, I drink a full glass of water, I'll meditate, I'll do some type of exercise. It doesn't have to be like crazy exercise. I just do exercise. Sometimes I'll do yoga, sometimes I'll do stretching, sometimes I'll do more intense workouts, but just movement, getting the body moving, getting the blood flowing. I'll always make a shake in the morning. I'll read some affirmations. Those are like I am statements, and the book tells you how to write those, but those are important. Affirmations, read those every day. Do a little bit of reading, and reading is easy now. You can use Audible. You can read a chapter in a book. I mean, you could read for 5 to 10 minutes. It's very easy to do, and if you do it on a daily basis, you'll be surprised how many books you'll read, and how much knowledge and wisdom you'll get from it. And I'm talking about books that are relative to what you want to do in your life, or where you want to be, who you want to become. We all like our nonfiction books, and I'm talking about fiction books, but I'm talking about books that are really going to help you grow. Do a little bit of visualization that can take a short amount of time. Journaling's been huge in my life, absolutely huge in my life. And I do it all the time, not just on a daily basis, but writing is very helpful. The other thing that I left out is the practice of gratitude as well. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I practice gratitude. That's a choice. You get to choose how you feel in the morning when you wake up. And I'm grateful for waking up, like the air that I breathe. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this life. Thank you for the opportunity that I have today to be able to step out of my bed and put my own 2 feet on the ground. Like that's the attitude that I have. And I didn't used to have that attitude. And I do something very similar before I go to bed. So read the book. It's going to inspire you. I promise you it will. Start implementing that and you'll see what starts to happen. Like you have a bunch of those days and you do that in the morning, you take an hour to do something like that, what I just described, you are in such a great position to win the day. Really, like you've done more than most people, and you start doing that and stacking a bunch of good days together, you're going to start hitting your goals. I'm telling you that you are. My life changed dramatically once I started to implement a routine and I took ownership and control of my day. Huge. The other habit or the other way that we're going to establish wins and, get to our goals. Your goal is to leave your job, right? You need to have accountability. All right. Whether that's personal accountability from a coach or a mentor or a partner or somebody that you know that you might be doing this with. Hey, I'm doing this routine. I'm going to have an accountability partner, or a group accountability. And that can come in a many different forms. Group accountability. If you want to work out and exercise, there's groups that you can join. You can go to, different Facebook groups. They have all these, workout groups that you can go to. If we're talking about health and fitness here, and that's a way for you to get around people that have common goals and like, hey, why didn't you show up today? Or hey, you didn't hit your goal. There's accountability is huge. With my coach, I'm doing accountability right now with him on fitness. So I have to tell him in a voice text, whether or not I did my workout in the morning. And if I don't do it, then if I don't do the workout, then that bothers me. Right. So on the days where it's like, oh, I don't really feel like working out. I don't feel like doing this. I get up because I know I got to report in. So that will be huge in your life. If you have accountability, have that set up and make sure that other person is willing to hold you accountable and not just like, oh, it's okay, do the next day. It's like, no, you have to have somebody that will hold your feet to the fire, right? So accountability is huge. Find a partner or a group to hold you accountable for whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Okay, the other winning habit, okay, is that you can do that's really, really going to fast forward your desire or your path to get to leaving your job or anything else in your life that you want to accomplish, is doing the hard things first. Okay. So if I have this great morning routine, I have accountability, and I'm doing all these things to set myself up to win the day, do the hard thing first. Do the thing that you dread the most first, get it out of the way, and now you're carrying that momentum forward. So as an example, I have a real estate business. I call a lot of sellers, right? And I will typically make the calls that I need to make first thing in the morning. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it. Sometimes I don't feel like talking to people on the phone. I don't feel like calling people. Do it in the morning. Get it over with. Block. I have a block. At 1 hour, I'm going to call everyone I need to call. It could be like if you want to do writing, and you're writing a book, do it in the morning. I'm going to write for 1 hour in the morning. First things first. Set up a time. Put it in your calendar. Get it knocked out. Don't continue to put it off, because what happens if you put it off till later in the day, I'll do it this afternoon. Well, a lot can happen from, 7, 8 a.m. when you start up until the afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then all of a sudden you roll it to the next day and the next day and the next day, and then it never gets done. So doing the hard things first will really put you in a great position to knock things off your list. And again, get to the bigger goal. I always talk about winning the day, creating small wins so that you can get to your bigger goals. And that's what you need to do, is just do the hardest thing first every day. And you always feel better about it. Like, oh, I don't want to call this person. I don't want to do this thing. This is just so, this is stressful. Like, I just would rather avoid it. And then once you actually knock it out and do it, it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad, right? We make these stories up in our head that these things are going to be super, super difficult when they're not. It's just getting over yourself, getting out of your own head and pushing forward and getting those things knocked out. So those are 3 winning habits that you can establish that are really going to get you further towards your goals. And if your goal is to leave your job, and if you're on this channel, then obviously that's probably something that's top of mind. Leave your comments below. Talk to me about what you're going to do with your routine. Which habits are you going to establish? We just love the feedback, and we really appreciate you watching. Make it a great day.